said, excuse me, you don't understand where I'm at. I was all around the world, on span, across the map. I've been laying low and now it's time to pop up.
Well, good evening, folks out there. Welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We're here live Friday night on Friday the 13th to discuss the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Episode 5, which happens to be called Halls of Stone. Yes, Halls of Stone. So this episode is directed once again by Louise Hooper and Santa Hamry. It is written by Nicholas Adams. It is the 5th episode of the 2nd season of The Rings of Power. Of course, we have a all-star cast with us tonight on the panel. We have, of course, returning Mr. J. Rent 2000. How we doing, J. Rent?
We're good. We're happy to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Great to have you, sir. And then, of course, we have Mr. Jeff S, TrueKnowledge, my loyal co-host. How we doing, Jeff?
J-Rat is holding it down on Rings of Power.
Holding it down, yes.
Okay. That's apparently, that's not the question, but okay. Thank you, sir. That's good to know. I
think that's how you do it. I don't know.
And then, of course, we have returning to the Bleeding Edge. It's been a while. It's great to have him return on the Rings of Power, Mr. William Morgan.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing tonight? Thank y'all for having me. Jared, what's up, man? We've done this before, me and you.
What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
Long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been more than a minute. It's been like 3,467,000 minutes.
What was the last time? When was the last time you guys got together on something? What was it? Last of Us?
This show.
No, I know that, but I mean, what was it? Rings of Power?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I just know we've been. It was one of the Marvel series. We was on the show together.
Probably, yeah. This makes
sense.
sense.
Agatha is coming out soon, William. So make sure you come back for Agatha.
Oh, we got to do that. We got to look at that.
I agree.
Yes, we do. All right, excellent. Well, great to have such a great panel, and we're here to talk about the Rings of Power. Like I said, if you're not familiar with the Rings of Power, it is set thousands of years prior to the Lord of the Ring book and the Hobbit book, or Hobbit book, I should say, and is basically giving you kind of a backstory to all that fun that happened prior to Frodo and Sam and Merry and Pippin and all of them having to lead that ring to the Mount Mordor. We learn more about Sauron and all that kind of good stuff. So if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, definitely worth checking out if you would like that. Like I said, this is season 2 we're talking about. So if you haven't seen season 1, I recommend watching that season before you watch this season. So this episode starts off with Durin the Third uses one of the new rings power to help rebuild the dwarf's infrastructure and bring sunlight back to Khazad-dûm. So, I mean, we can really go all into this little beginning sequence here. But basically, what did you guys think about that beginning intro with him pitchforking and opening up that sunlight and stuff to bring sunlight back into Khazad-dûm and stuff like that? What did you think about the whole sequence that kind of, Durin and his father and, basically kind of they're kind of like little story arc going on there after they've kind of now reconciled, and just kind of your overall thoughts, kind of that beginning there of the episode. Starting with you, Jared.
Well, that scene basically, with him using the ring to kind of like guide his people to like the light to to open it up, and he's using it. That power is telling him where it is on the rocks. You're seeing what the rock is doing, like it's giving him like false hope, but he thinks it's good. He finds a spot, he picks it, he goes against his son about with this is a foundation this is a foundation wall, and I'm assuming that means something bad, like you're not supposed to, pickaxe there. That's I guess that's what that means. But he's like, just do it, so they've kind of had their little scoffs already. So this isn't really anything new, other than you're seeing that the ring is, influenced, like, or giving him foresight to where the holes are at that will get the sun back into that area. And I mean, he's just falling into the trap at that point of the ring.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. William, same question.
I thought his son's reaction to everything in his whole damn episode was just hilarious. He looked at him like, I'm trying to tell you, this is a structural piece. You can bring everything down. His dad remained true to his calling, and he was right. But the whole time through, I thought his son's reaction to everything that happened in this episode was just funny as hell. He had the funniest looks, like he didn't know what the hell was going on. But his son, man, his son to me, because this episode wasn't that great. His son to me made this episode just with his interactions between him and his wife later on, that you saw, as well as that opening act. So I just thought the son's reaction to everything in this episode was priceless.
Excellent. Jeff, same question.
Yo, that guy fucking was barely even hitting that wall, that rock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was barely even swinging that fucking pickaxe or whatever the fuck that shit was. Oh, hey Ron, I'm here. We got you never called Ron before in the comment section, Cyber. That's new. Anyways, so homeboy was swinging that fucking pickaxe, and he was not hitting it very hard, and he was like chewing through that fucking wall, right? How the fuck did he manage to fucking hit that shit so good that like it made fucking sunlight pop up and shit? You know what I'm saying? And then they go to the montage right after that where he's just like putting his ring up to the rock and shit and all this shit. And like,
the ring weakened it.
Hold my ring up to the fucking rock.
The ring weakened the integral structure.
Dig there.
It was. The ring weakened it.
Dig there.
The ring weakened the internal structure of the rock.
Cyber, are you hiding? Cyber's hiding.
Oh no, my camera just moved. That's all.
Anyway, so that was funny. Durham was just like a dumbass. Durham Jr. He looked like a dumbass the whole time. He's just like all stupid and shit with Diza. Diza's fucking stupid she's stupid as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand her ass. We'll talk about her later. She had an obesity positive moment in the episode. I thought was pretty dope. I don't know about that whole scene. Everybody, all the doors were getting all excited. What have they been eating this whole time? They had no sunlight. They can't grow no crops. They eat rocks now or what? Are they eating rocks?
No, they had rations stored.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, rations.
Yeah, they had rations stored. Yeah, that is true.
They said that in like 2 episodes ago.
I know. I remember.
Didn't they say that in episode 3? Didn't they say that
3 months?
Didn't they say that in like episode 3?
What are these? I want to see these rations. What are they, like sandwiches?
My thing was like, what about the air?
Right.
Just like, okay, I get
Where
the
the
food
oxygen
part.
where the oxygen coming in at?
Yeah, how's the fire burning?
Right.
Maybe that's why the junior was so stupid faced and shit like during all the scenes because the lack of oxygen in the cave because of the loss of the sunlight. I didn't think about that. That could be what happened. He's fucked up for the lack of oxygen in the caves, and so I guess his dad really helped him out then, because like now they can breathe again too. They got sunlight and they can breathe.
Yeah. Facts.
All right. Excellent, everyone. Great job there, Jeff. A million points there for your laughing, sir.
You can't be fucking Diza if you can't breathe, bruh.
Yeah, no. Everyone else gets a billion points as well because they're just all very great. Very great job, guys. Very great.
Let me get some XP.
Jasmine is in the comment section. Welcome, Jasmine. He apparently
he's a savage.
He taking a break from live streams, but he's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why is J-Ret there when I'm not there?
He's a savage.
Yeah. And then he's like, what's up, guys? My cat was making press statements on how his cat friend, Major Tom, got eaten by a dude.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dang.
Okay.
Dang.
I think he's referring to all the supposed Haitian cat eating that they've been talking about. Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. So, yeah. Great. Wonderful to know.
Oh, I saw some videos on that. That's just crazy.
Anyways, thank you, Raph, for being in the comments. Great to see you, sir. And you and your cats. Anyways, great job, guys. Excellent. But so yeah, I mean, like everyone's kind of mentioned there, like he was barely hitting that wall. You could definitely tell that actor was like barely doing anything as he's doing it. And I was kind of cracking up watching it, going like, how's that even breaking anything? It literally is like he looks like he's going, ugh. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, that doesn't look like actual pickaxing to me. I'm sorry.
It's
but
real life paper. You know, in real life, it's paper mache.
But the only thing I can think of, well, maybe it's because he's a dwarf. He's shorter, so maybe it's not going to look like normal or whatever because he's a mystical dwarf.
Yep.
So I'm like thinking of myself too at the same time. I'm like, oh, okay. I see kind of now. But anyways, definitely agree with everyone there. That was kind of funny as hell. But yeah, I mean, them, getting the sunlight back and having to get better oxygen into, Cabatuth is, good. I'm glad they're starting to fix things. They're trying to get Khazad Doom back to kind of where it was before that whole, unfortunate event we had in the previous episode. So yeah, so it's kind of nice that we're seeing them kind of get things fixed. So as it moves on, the ring also has been making the king greedy, and he dismisses a warning from Dista that they could be awakening something evil that lives beneath the mines. Ooh, cue the dark music. Oh, okay. Dark pigs, I guess. I don't know. So in Arajon, Anatar insists that they start work on Rings of Power for men, but Celebrimbor refuses to be involved. So we'll stop there before we really get into the meat of that. But what did you guys think about the whole Dissa thing, Durin the Third's trying to tell the father about what possibly could be happening by opening these chasms and her like psychic almost ability. I feel like they're trying to make it out like to be. And what do you think about how Anatar insists on making the 7 rings and try to get Celebrimbor to do it, but he refuses to be involved at first? What were you guys' kind of thoughts on like the kind of the beginning of that, kind of getting to know a little bit more about those characters and just kind of your overall thoughts on that sequence, leading through the episode? We'll start with you this time, Jeff.
I don't like Saran as fucking whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Like as that queer guy or whatever.
Hey,
he's really queer looking. You know what I'm saying? Like really gay looking. And like he was really masculine before. So he just looks like he almost looks like a chick now. So I'm not really feeling that. These episodes where it looks like they basically decided to like make it to where every other episode they have the story of the dwarves and Karen Bohr or whatever, and fucking Sarad, right? And the rings and all that shit. And then they go back to the hobbits and the stranger and the black magician or whatever the fuck he is, the black guy or whatever, wizard, the black wizard, that guy. And they go back to that storyline, So it's interesting how they do that. I don't like it very much because there's no Poppie in this episode. Poppie's is my shit. It says right in the title, we need more Poppie. You know what I'm saying? And the picture of Poppie that they actually put out, I'm telling you right now, I put it on our thumbnail of Poppie. Poppie is looking like a little child in the thumbnail. I don't like it. It's not a good representation of Poppie. But I digress. So, it's fucking stupid. Like, this guy, Karen Bohr, whatever the fuck his name is, he's such a little bitch, right? Like, seriously, he's getting played big time, like hardcore on some stupid shit. Like, seriously, like Sauron is on some stupid shit with him, like telling him stupid shit, you know, playing games with him and shit or whatever, like stupid games and shit. And
they're throwing him under the bus.
And this guy don't know shit. He don't do nothing, and he's stupid as fuck. And he's all in his feelings and shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like him very much. Salah Brimbor or whatever the fuck his name is, Kellen Brimbor. He's kind of a douchebag. So I really didn't care that much for those scenes when they were working on talking about the rings and all that shit. It was that was like where the episode dragged for me. Was like, you know what I'm saying? Was that's where it fell off. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
All right. Let's go on to J-Rect. Your thoughts, sir, on those scenes?
To go to the part where like the wife, what did she buy in the market? She bought like some ball. Do you remember? What did she buy?
She bought some sort of relic of some sort of that would help her know things or something, awaken her or something like that. It was basically, it's kind of like to give her a power almost.
So she bought like some rock and then she drops it and then she went into some like cave that I guess
she got stuck in the cave. She got stuck in the cave door. That was her obesity pro obesity moment.
I don't know how like she even found it. Like, did nobody else know that crack in the hole was there? Like, you know, she just like wondering. And she was like, "What is this place?" Like, did nobody know that was there? Or did that just form? I'm assuming it just formed with when the rocks started collapsing or whatever. I don't know. And then she does her little, into the cave, and then she feels like the evil. We know what it is, right? It was
like the Acolyte again, bro. Almost when she does that shit, the singing, it's almost like the Acolyte again.
Right? Like I won't say it was that bad, but we all know what's in there, right?
No, we don't.
We do. We really do.
What's in there? The gay club?
No, we know what monster's in there, right?
Gay club.
You know what demon's in there, right?
What demon?
For real, you don't know?
The case where that gay Sauron puts his like headpiece is in there.
Come on, y'all really don't know which demon's in there?
The Balrog.
Yeah, the you shall not pass.
Yeah, the Balrog is down there.
Yeah.
How do we know the Balrog is down there?
Because that's where he is in the Lord of the Rings.
Because he lives down there. That's his spot.
That's where he is in Lord of the Rings.
That's supposed to be the same fucking place that's in that movie, in the first movie.
Yeah. Khazad-dûm.
Yep.
Well, that distinction does not really, I feel, calculate at all. So I would have never guessed that. But anyway.
And then also remember the door that they made.
Yep.
Between the elves and that's the same door that they had to open to get into there.
Yep.
That's the same. Remember? No. Damn. No.
And I thought, to piggyback off that, I thought we were going to actually see, because it looks like the dwarves and the orcs were actually going to get along.
The dwarves and the who?
The dwarves and the elves.
They did get along.
Yeah, they were getting along.
Yeah, apparently they're fine. The orcs are great nowadays. They got the orc bacon shit.
I don't think there ever really was a problem between the dwarves and the elves. I think they were kind of like their their own communities, and I think they were fine already as it was. I think the rings kind of just made like a bond between them, like some type of truce or alliance between that like fraction that was right there. And I think that was like to symbolize that, coming together between elves and dwarves at that one moment. But I don't think they were ever not like a team or like friends at that point in time. Anyway, and then the ring guy that Jeff was talking about, yeah, he's a little weenie. He's like really influenced, but I felt like but I felt like he's really like deep. He feels like he's too deep into it. to like backtrack, and he's getting really easily manipulated into it, but then when he tries to say no, the guy's like, well, I'm gonna fucking do it anyway,
Exactly. He did say that.
So then he's kind of like has no choice to like, okay, well, if you're gonna do it anyway, then I guess I have to help you, so it is right, but at that point in time, I mean, it's just all downhill, This scene was okay. This scene was good. The first scene that we talked about in the show was good. This scene was good. I like where it's heading. It's getting to where we get to the beginning of the Lord of the Rings with the fighting and stuff. Anyway, I'm ready to move on.
How many episodes we get of this? 6?
8.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
We're at 5, right? 5 right now.
Yeah, I'm going on 6. Mm-hmm.
All right, William.
Yeah, Cellar Boy, he a little
Thoughts,
bitch.
please.
Yeah, Cellar Boy, he a little bitch. He remind me of Cyclops, little bitch. don't like Scott Summers, and I don't like this dude. He's just so monotone. There's no excitement or anything about him at all. He a proper speaking bitch. For some reason to me, and maybe it's just me, I don't know. Sauron seems he seems kind of cool to me for some reason. Like I said, I'm new to all this, but Sauron seems cool to me for some reason. But yeah, Celebro's a little bitch. The one thing I don't understand, why and where are the fight scenes in this episode? And you see, I changed my name right there. More fight scenes. Where are the fight scenes in this episode? To me, the fight scenes and the overall scenery of Middle Earth makes this show what it is. It's not storyline that makes this show what it is. Anybody can write this. My dog can write this. But it's the fight scenes and the ambiance of the show visually that makes it to me what it is. And I just don't understand why it was so bogged down in storyline, because it dragged the whole episode down.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice in a lot of these TV series, especially these very episodic, very long episode series that they've been doing recently, they tend to do that a lot where they just bog down stuff without putting enough action in.
Yeah.
And, a lot of us, what we're looking for, especially in something like Lord of the Rings, we're looking for action. We're looking for the orc fights. We're looking for the dwarves and the elves to fight. We're looking for battles. That's what makes the Lord of the Ring films were so, amazing. The Two Towers, that whole epic final battle sequence was one of the best parts of that film. In the first film, the battle sequence at the castle leading up to the Balrog thing. I mean, lots of great epic battles. So, when people are thinking of Lord of the Rings, they're thinking epic battles. So, when they have these series that they're doing now, which they're doing this one, when you don't have hardly any action, people kind of start to lose interest, and that's kind of sad. They need to keep more fight sequences to really continue the story even more too, as well, to make it entertaining. Because the story alone is not going to get you to point A to B if there's no other actionable thing that's making it entertaining. So I completely agree there with your new name, more fight scenes.
Yes. And then me and Jeff was talking backstage. That character I did want to see, we didn't get her to the end. That was just so disrespectful.
Gadriella?
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, I'm surprised she was not in the episode more. I'm that's very interesting that they had such a small part for her in this one. But anyway, great job, everyone. Good job. All right, so when Durin the Fourth expresses his concerns about the dwarven rings to Celebrimbor, Anatar suggests that the negative impacts are being caused by Celebrimbor lying to Gilgalad about making more rings, which we get that scene in this sequence here where they have that conversation, Anatar and Celebrimbor, and the look on Celembribor's face, you're just like like, what do you mean lying? Like, you could definitely tell that he's not being truthful, and you can just see it all over his face, and it's just so obvious. And like Anatar really kind of, trying to drive it home here. The sequence, I think, is one of his better moments in the episode. And so, basically after they talk and come to a conclusion, basically, then we have Celebrimbor agrees to help make rings for men and attempt to redeem his work on the Dwarven rings. So we'll stop there. What are you guys' thoughts on, that whole situation with the dwarfs and this whole Celebrimbor lying and saying that they're not making more rings when they really are, and Anatar saying that he was going to make more rings no matter what anyways, and all that kind of good stuff. So what were you guys' thoughts kind of on that situation leading up to Celebrimbor agreeing to make the rings for men? Let's start with you this time, William.
My issue is, these rings are being made for normal men, correct? Okay,
yes.
So here's my question. How can normal men handle the power of the rings?
That's their whole argument.
That's my
kind of
right. How can normal men hold the power of the rings?
Because the power of the rings is not destructive to the person. It's more influential over the person than it is dangerous to the person. The power of it. Mm. So men can wear the rings. They're considered the race that is going to be the most easily tainted by the power of the rings. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. That was my one question, because normally you look at a normal dude, and unless the ring wants you to be able to take control of it, it's not going to let you take control of it. Kind of like a Green Lantern type of thing. If the ring didn't select Hal Jordan would be able to use that ring.
True. So, besides your question, what did you think about that sequence there, sir?
I thought it was interesting because it was the first time I've heard of the rings having a potential flaw. And like I said, I'm new to the whole series, but this is my first time of actually hearing a ring of power having a potential flaw within it. The way the show started, they made these rings out to be perfection. And now to hear that the Dwarven rings might have a flaw was just kind of baffling. Just to, just take a step back and say, what? These rings are all powerful, but they have a flaw? Okay. That made me kind of second guess things.
All right. And any thoughts on the whole Anatar conversation with Celebrimbor about his lying and agreeing to make the rings for the dwarfs or for the men?
He got off too easy with the lie. He should have been punished, but be off the hook.
Okay. All right. Mr. J. Rent, your thoughts, sir, on that sequence?
Kind of continuing off of when I was ending off on the last comments. It just, he knew he was being manipulated, and he states that, and yet he still gets manipulated. Mm-hmm. To kind of touch base a little bit on the rings themselves. The rings are evil. They are powerful, but they if they're influenced, they're not a good influence. It doesn't matter if you're a good person. They just have a dark influence built into them already, that they are evil, but they're manipulative. So they're imposing themselves on these people as if they are doing good, when in reality they're just draining and making these people dependent on them, and making them more aggressive. they don't call to specific people. The people that have put them on are just more drawn to it than anybody who has never put that on. I'm trying to like kind of just think of like even the original Lord of the Rings, where like, you know, Frodo put it on, or like some of the other people. Maybe people who are more susceptible to like evil are more drawn to it. I think maybe that was like the most out of it. Is like people who are like weak-minded were more susceptible to like falling into like wanting to grasp the ring, you know. And
and to piggyback off what you said, we sort of kind of saw that with the Dwarven King in that same episode when he actually took the ring off. And when he took the ring off, he yelled at old boy, "Where's my ring? Where's my ring?"
Right,
like he couldn't live without the ring. Yeah, he couldn't live without the ring. It's over here. You took it off because it made your arm too heavy. That I did.
Yeah, it made him dependent on it.
Yep.
And then the next thing that I kind of wanted to touch base to, the rings, they mentioned about that the rings would be too much of an influence probably for man, because man is probably the most flawed out of, I guess, the beings in Middle Earth. And so that was kind of one of the things that was brought up, like, oh, this is too much power for man because they are so flawed. They are so easily corrupted that this is probably not a good idea. But, you know, that plan goes up in smoke because the other guy convinces him, like, well, in order to complete the cycle, we need to have man involved, because even though they can be so, you know, piss poor, they can also be so piss great, you know, and something, you know, great can come out of them as well. So he just kind of plays on this whole, like, in order to complete it, you know, we the elves rings were perfect, the dwarves rings were flawed because we lied. Now we need to make the man's rings even better, so that way they can overpower the elves and help correct the elves, or not the elves, the dwarves, and bring it to full circle. That was the some idea that was brought into there, which I was kind of like, all right, okay. And yeah, I'm okay with what they're doing. I like the explanations. I'm fine with it. The scene was good to me. It gives me a lot to understand. Like, I understand where we're going with this. It's not so silly.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Any thoughts there?
Not many. There's not really a lot to talk about for me. This section of the episode, it's very boring. It's really a slog to get through and watch.
Snooze fest.
It's they need to go ahead and move things on and move on to the fighting, like with this season. Like they need to do what they're going to do with these rings and get it out of the way, and go ahead and get to the part where Galadriel shows up and confronts Saran and everything and whatnot. You know, I don't understand how Celebrimbor is so everybody else seems to be able to detect Saran when they see him, right? But for some reason, like especially the elves, they can detect Saran, right? Like Saran. How the fuck is it that Celebrimbor has no idea that that's Saran? But yet Galadriel like knows that if she sees him, she's gonna know instantaneously that that's Saran. It makes no sense to me. They should have had more Galadriel. That they had her get caught by the orcs just last episode, and then they didn't do nothing with that. You know, they could have done something with that in this episode. It would have balanced the episode out a little bit more if they would have done that, I think. You know, instead of just cutting her out completely like they did, and cutting out the stranger and his storyline too. I don't really like that. I wish they would try to mix these up a little bit more, these storylines, so that when we see the episodes, we get to see all the characters in one shot, not just some storylines, you know, in one episode and then others in other ones. This season has a lot of like ebb and flow problems so far for me. The episode flow of the show, of the series, is not very good. This is probably the most suppositional, boring episode so far of the whole season. I think is probably this episode.
All right, excellent. And yeah, I mean, with its a runtime of almost an hour, which is surprisingly long for an episode. Just like what you were just saying, Jeff, how they didn't have the chance to cover everyone's story in this one episode makes no sense when it's an hour long. So, I mean, they had plenty of time. They kind of dwelt too much on certain things in this episode, which I agree with there. All right. So, moving on. So, the new king of Numenor, Ar-Pharazôn, tasks his son, Kemen, with cracking down on members of the faithful who remain loyal to Muriel. Kemen interrupts a memorial service that members of the faithful are holding, leading to a fight with Ithildor's friend, Valendil, that ends with Kemen killing Valendil.
Oh, yeah.
Ithildor's father, Elendil, is blamed for starting a riot and arrested. Elrond arrives in Lindon and warns Gil-galad. All right. So, I don't know. That's so weird that they only go to that. Anyways, so what were you guys' thoughts kind of on that little section of the episode? Pretty much almost leading up to the very end when we get to see Galadriel. What are your thoughts on that whole new king? What do you think about that fight with Kemen and the friend Valendil, and how he happens to be the son of Elendil? And what do you think about the father being blamed for the riot and being arrested, and about pretty much leading up to Elrond's arrival in Lindon and talking to Gil-galad about what's going on? That section of the episode where we kind of get a little bit of action finally. Let's start with you, J-Red.
With the new, I guess, ruler. It's not the king, right? He's like the regent or something.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't right? Just taking the place. I mean, obviously, his motives are not pure. There's some intent there or something, but then he sends his that's not his son, is it? No, yeah. Right? It is his son, because he was like, your mother said that something was gonna happen to you, and then he goes, okay. Anyway, that whole scene within that little praying area, and was that the son of the other guy too? It was, right? Okay,
I believe so.
Right. Okay. I just make sure, because I get lost. I'm just like, okay, putting everything together. And he smokes him. Right. They get into that fight, and he has him, right, and he chooses to toss the sword and turns his back, and then that little weenie grabs the sword and kills him, stabs him in the back. That was a real cheap shot. Like in some movies, like you're like, there's people like they make you hate. They're like, oh man, I hate that guy. They really did a good job of making you hate that guy. Like, wow, what a dirty bastard,
But I interrupt you there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one thing your dad always taught you about a fight? Never turn your back on your opponent.
Well, yeah,
he had a chance to strike him. He had a chance to finish him, and I bet you the storyline would have finished a little bit different had he taken that chance. He had a sword through the throat.
Yeah, but for plot, the dad told him to not kill him.
I saw that. I would. My dad would have had a problem with me, because I would have taken that shot.
It's all plot. It's it's just for the story. I mean, yeah, you don't want to turn your back to a guy. You probably back up and walk away, or somebody else would probably finish him off, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But part of the plot is is they're making this guy for you to hate him, and you hate him for that, because you're like, wow, dude, really, he busted you up, and you cheap shot him like that behind the back, and you're just like, wow, what a, and then the audacity to like arrest him, and they did all those things. Like he goes, "Oh, this relic," and then he drops it. They just did all the things to make him like a real weenie.
What did he say? They were closing the place of worship down for a canal.
Yeah.
And how many people was in there praising? Man, come on.
Yeah, it's just they built that character up for you to hate him, and they did a good job in doing that.
Yep.
Fine. I don't know what the point of that part of the story is, which I'm okay with. For me, we're here to see the rings being formed, and we're here to get to the end of the finale when it comes to the army of elves men having to fight Sauron, from the beginning story of the origin, or from the Lord of the Rings. Remember how Lord of the Rings opened up and you had that fight sequence? They explained it to you in the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where that's going. This is going to that big fight scene. That's where
eventually, but we're a ways away from getting there.
Yeah, I know, but that's where we're going, and that's what I'm waiting to get to. So all the explanation to get there, I'm okay with. These little in between stories, like this right here. I don't know what this does to the plot of the Rings of Power, but we're seeing it. It's part of what's happening at the time. I'm okay with it. Let's get the rings for the men now. I'm ready for that.
All right, thank you. And for those out there that are what Mr. J-Red keeps referencing is the opening battle sequence in Lord of the Rings that shows you kind of the backstory leading up to present time in Lord of the Rings when Sauron is destroyed for the millionth time. Because apparently, as we've seen here, Sauron has already died once and has come back. So he's probably been killed a few other times leading up to this. So just that's what he keeps talking about. It's getting excited about, folks. For those that didn't understand, just want to make sure everyone understands. Anyways, great job, Mr. J-Ran. All right, Jeff. Same question, sir. Your thoughts, kind of that section.
I don't really have much. There's not much to say, really. I don't really the story when it shifts over to Numenor, it gets a little bit murky for me. I have a hard time following what's going on over there, like who the characters are and everything and all that. Like I have a hard time keeping track of the story over there, and understanding what exactly is happening. It's kind of boring, that part of the story, the whole Numenorian thing with the situation with the king and all that, and Farazan and all that shit. Like it's kind of a shit show over there. It's kind of boring. And as far as like the little shot of as far as Isildur Elendil, as far as Elendil getting arrested, I think that's going to end up leading to like a group of the Númenóreans heading back to Middle Earth because they're just going to leave. Like they're not going to want to be under Farazan. So eventually they're just going to get on their ships and they're going to head back to the Middle Earth. Is what I think is going to happen. And that's probably when they'll get their rings, is when they come back, I imagine. Because I mean, Sauron's not going to go to Numenor, So yeah, and then as far as Elrond arriving in London to warn Gilad, hurry up, like get the fucking army going or whatever and whatnot, and team up with the orcs and fight Sauron. I'm ready. That's all I got to say. I'm out. This episode sucked. I'm going to give it like a 3 when I rate it.
Well, you gave the surprise away. Jesus Christ, bro. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, take us out, Mr. William there, Mr. More Fight Scenes. Your thoughts kind of on that section of the episode, sir?
Look, if I'm, like I said, and I said it earlier on when Valinda had a chance to take his shot, he should have took his shot. But again, like Jerry Rant said, it gave a moment, kind of like an old school pro wrestling, to build a heel, and that's exactly what they did. They used that moment to build a heel, and it was brilliant because I hate that dude. So I thought that was very well done. Even at to the point where he said, arrest him for starting the uprising, when it was actually him who caused the uprising. That was brilliant into that role of that character. So they played that very, very well. And as far as the other part goes, when they say you need to get your army over to so and so, and he said we can't do it alone. You saw what was coming. You saw what was coming. You saw the superhero team up.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. So basically from there, during this time frame, we get that brief introduction to the orcs marching up to a certain place. I'm not 100% sure where. I don't recall them saying where they were going, but they were marching somewhere. We briefly see them marching up. And that's kind of going in between what we were just talking about here, and Elrond arriving in Linden and warning Gilgalad. And at that point, after we get the Elrond situation, that's when we get our brief cameo of Gadriella, and she's being taken out of the case she was in. And one of the orcs is kind of like about to stab her, and the one head orc guy comes up and tells him to back off basically, and then she grabs that guy and like has a knife to his neck, and basically is trying to get them to let her go free, and he starts talking Elvish to her, because as you can look at him, you can definitely tell he's a former elf. He's more of a dark elf now, orc version of that, and basically say that, oh, you never have actually been a prisoner here. I actually brought you along because I was hoping for you to become an ally, because we have the same enemy to battle. And basically that's how the episode ends. So what did you guys think about the brief time with Galadriel? And what did you think about that head orc guy there? Did you like his performance in the episode, even though it was very short? Did you enjoy it? Did you think that he has a future in the rest of the series? And I know that in previous episodes, I think it was you, Jeff, that mentioned saying that you liked this guy. So kind of, what were you guys' overall thoughts kind of on that ending of the episode, starting with you, William?
It was good to see old girl come back. It was good to see her get freed. They come back in the episode, because to me, since I've been watching this, in my opinion, she's the most interesting in this whole damn show. The dark elf guy's okay. I thought he did a decent job for what his role was, but to see Galadriel come back and do her thing, that made the episode for me, because it sure wasn't for anything else.
All right. Jay, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's important to this story. So, just bringing her in for 30 seconds of the episode, sure, why not? There's other stuff going on, and they're trying to jam pack it, into you as much as you can. Or it's like they almost said, oh shit, we almost forgot about her. Well, let's show her for a little bit, and that's what they did. The dark elf, I guess, right? He looks more like a dark elf than he does an elf. I mean, than he does an orc or whatever. Yeah, I mean, he's like, I need you here. We actually have a common enemy, and then it kind of, that's not how it ends, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
But they were.
I brought you here because we have the same enemy.
Yeah, but was it them that's marching, or was it someone else that's marching?
It's them marching. It's the orcs.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a different orcs or something, or another army. Because remember, they were like, the head elf is like, he took off the ring, didn't he? Because he's like, he knows that the ring is like messing with him.
Don't remember that, but okay. I
think he doesn't have the ring on. I'm like, man, I want to say like I'm like 75% sure he took off the ring, because he's starting to. He mentions that he feels that these rings are corrupted. He mentions that. He mentions that these rings are corrupted, and that they have something to do. There's something sinister at play. He mentions this somewhere in the end of it. He does. He has a feeling. But they're marching into some like elf village or something, and they bring that to your attention. And I mean, it's just like, okay, what's gonna happen next episode? So that's where we're at. It's all real slow. But if you like Lord of the Rings, if you like the story, and you know where it ends, and you want to see it, then you're gonna you're gonna sit and watch these when they come out.
All right,
that's my take.
Okay, Jeff, any thoughts on Galadriel?
No, I already talked about it before in my response to the last set of questions. The last question. There's nothing really. It's so short. There's nothing to really talk about.
What about Joey's comment there about the dark elf talking about the ring? Do you remember that?
It wasn't the dark elf. It was the head elf.
Head elf. Do you recall anything about him talk about the ring?
I don't know what that means.
The one that was told like, hey, they're marching.
Elrond brought the ring back to Gilgalad.
They mentioned, he said there's something sinister here at hand, that these rings are being influenced. He mentions it.
Yeah, because he had a vision. He's having visions from the rings.
Right. He took it off because he's feeling like they're tainted. He's acknowledging that there's something going on with these rings.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so that's what you're referencing is when he's talking to Gilgalad.
Okay. Yeah.
He's talking to some chick. It wasn't her. I don't think it was her.
No, that Gadriel, the other head elf.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, all right.
Gigabytes.
Any thoughts on them keeping Dissa around? Because I feel like ever since the season began, her episodes have become smaller and smaller, her little parts. I'm sure that made you more happy, Jeff, that her part's smaller. What do you think about them, Dissa not being in this episode as much?
I don't really have anything to say about her. I don't really like the character very much. That's all there really is. I mean, she was in the episode, so she has a role in the show. Like, she's not going away.
Okay.
We have to see her.
Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on that character of Dissa?
Which one's that one again? Which chick is that one?
Durin's wife.
Oh yeah, she's
the dwarf, black dwarf.
The thick one.
The
That's what she
is. I mean,
I thought her ass was, when she went in that cave and you saw the water sort of shine, I thought they was about to eat her ass. That's what I thought.
She's just there for
get your ass out that cave, girl. The hell.
She's just there to fill space.
She's gonna be the obligatory black person that die. Okay,
but I just mean like in this. I mean for the story, like she's just filler. Like I mean, she's just.
That's all she is, filler. Oh my god.
That's like that. Go ahead, Jared.
I mean, I was just gonna say, I'm trying to think of somebody to compare her character to, in another movie or Lord of the Rings, to kind of give an idea of like how important she really is or isn't to the story. Like, she's. Who can we think of? Who did you barely see of, and who was like really less important in Lord of the Rings? That's what she's like. I can't really think of anybody who was like really less important.
Exactly.
And because you hardly see her, the less and less you see her, the more people forget and don't care about her.
Yep.
I don't know. I wonder what pivotal role she's gonna have. Yet to be seen. She's got to do something. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that I've noticed, like, since the first season, her character has had a lot less time in this season versus the first season. So I think that's it. That's a higher class or better class of storytelling in this season. Simply for the fact that, they're not focusing too much on that character anymore, because I felt that her character arc in the first season was just too much. Like, what is really her significance? Like you were just saying, is she going to play a super pivotal role? But in the long run, I feel that her characterization, the writing of it, had just become very, like, in the way. Like, all she does is irritates and causes trouble for Doran. And you're kind of like, how is that helping Doran out at all? And so I think that, her having less time on the screen has been better for the season. Because when we were going over the first season, I kept remembering Jeff saying how much he disliked her and that he was upset that she was back for this season. So I was just like, well, I had those for a lot less, so I think it's better. But yeah, still, we could have done without her, I think, still. I mean, there's so many other better characters in this series, the Stranger, Poppie, because we all know we love Poppie.
She just can't not show up anymore. There's gotta be something that happens to her. She's gotta fall off somewhere.
Right. Anyways,
I would get the Poppie if I would get the Poppie T-shirt. If not for the fact that it probably costs like $40, I want a Poppie T-shirt. My girl Poppie.
We have 74 views tonight at X. All the folks who had their cats eaten by my Tinder dates are watching your live stream as therapy. Okay, Raph. All right, thank you for that.
Raph, you really gotta work on your comments, bro. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Your cats eaten by your Tinder dates?
What do you say? We're on XTube? 74 views on XTube?
Yeah.
Isn't XTube like a porn site?
Yeah.
Porn, man.
He says tonight on X. He didn't say XTube.
He said X.
Yeah, but you guys are like, yeah.
He said X.
What is that?
Yeah to X.
I don't know what X is.
I said
Twitter.
DMX,
It's Twitter.
That's the new name. You don't know the new name?
Jeff upgraded it.
I am not cool.
Jeff is
it has nothing to do with being cool. It has to just be with common sense.
I don't know anything. I'm sorry.
Come on, J-Red. Get in with the crowd here, sir.
Sometimes I can put pieces together, and sometimes they don't connect.
Oh, okay. So we're on YouTube. You realize that, right? We're on YouTube.
Yes, and Facebook. I do know those two.
Okay, good. Oh,
yes. Facebook and YouTube. Yes.
I didn't know we were live on X. So.
And Rumble, too.
And Bumble.
Rumble. Jesus Christ. Get it
you can't say Bumble.
Or how do you go live on Bumble? I'm just kidding.
He said Bumble. Oh my god.
I think J-Red's on Bumble.
We're on a dating site, y'all.
No, I wouldn't use that one. There's plenty of better ones, I'm sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hilarious.
We ain't got no time going back. We ain't got no time going back and forth.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies. I'm taking.
I ain't. Let's go.
All right. I think I said enough.
Jassim just wrote more there, Jeff. He said, Jeff, look up Springfield, Ohio cat stuff. At least Cyber knew what I was talking about. Laugh out loud.
I've seen it. I know.
And then he's like, we're viral on Rumble too. J-Red brings a ring to bar so girls will be interested in him.
Whatever. Who cares?
Nice one, Wrath. Nice one.
I don't even have anything on my hand.
Yeah, nothing else. He
ain't got no rings of power. He ain't got no ring of power to corrupt him.
No thanks.
But anytime somebody brings up the whole, like when you brought up the thing there, William, about I've seen this, the black guy dies first type of thing. Anytime I hear that line, all I can think about is Orlando Jones in the film Evolution. He's like, I've seen this movie. The black guy dies first.
Yep. Exactly. You even see it in the DC animated. I think it was I forgot what Superman movie it was. The Superman animated movie it was. But the first person who died in that movie was a black helicopter pilot. The first one that died, black helicopter pilot.
How does that make you feel?
Superman wasn't there to save him, and Supergirl came too late.
How does that make you feel that black guys die first in these movies?
It pisses me off, but I'm glad I'm not in that movie. It pisses me off, but I'm glad I'm not there. I'm glad it ain't me. Boy.
That would be weird if it kept being you, because then how the hell were you coming back?
Exactly.
My thought process, you know?
Exactly.
Anyways, all right. So that's the Rings of Power episode 5, folks. That was very long, but very short information span of episodes. So forgive us for not having much to talk about on this one, because it just didn't have much to go with. So anyways, I want to thank the great panel here. Glad to have Mr. J. Red back. Glad to have Mr. William back. Great time, guys. You all did a fantastic job. So I will head it over to Mr. Jeff, and he will give us plugs and plug us out.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you over here at the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, most definitely. Thank you, J-Rat. Thank you, William.
No problem.
All right, William, I'm going to go with you first. Geek Gauntlet Podcast, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, hit me up. The Geek Gauntlet Podcast on Twitch. Also hit me up on YouTube every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. We talk anime, we talk comics, we talk video games, we talk geek television, we talk about everything in the world of geek. So check us out, the Geek Gauntlet Podcast, every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you very much, sir. J-Rat 2000.
Yeah, that's me. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me and the MCU's Bleeding Edge to talk about the Rings of Power. You can add me on Facebook and say hello there. I'll post random stuff here and there, but a lot of my shows that I do have right now that you can listen to are on Spotify. They're on Apple. You just got to put JRent 2000's Podcast Odyssey. You could probably just put Podcast Odyssey and it'll pull it up. You know, add me, say hello, whatever you want to do, listen, follow. And then, whenever we go live again, which is going to be a minute, I always got great casts that join me. A lot of times I got Cyber, we've got Jeff that like to come on in, and we just we talk movies and whatever. Honestly, just come on, say hello.
Hey, ladies, real quick. Any single ladies in the house? I need y'all to hit me up at morefightscenes@gmail.com. Y'all hit me up.
You heard the man.
Y'all hit me up morefightscenes@gmail.com.
And there you go. See, you can add the latest episodes.
There you go. There it is.
There's about 3 episodes that I've been meaning to add to that mix, but you can find me actually on Kick as well. I haven't gone live in Kick in a minute.
Look at that. I'm headlining the episode over here. Fun time with Jeff Sloboda, part 2.
That's right. Jeff is famous on the Podcast Odyssey.
I am. Look at me with my suit.
We got Cyber there too. Look, if you look, you can see Cyber right there on the top movies of 2023.
That's right.
You'll find Cyber in here too. As a recent, you've been the guy to join me lately. Because Cyber's more structured, and like me and you, we could just kind of like talk about nothing, and get away with it sometimes. So
that's true.
You got more toilet humor, and so I like to use you for that.
I do the ad-libbing stuff better.
Yeah, but thank you guys again for having me on. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you inviting me on, bro. I really appreciate it.
Well, definitely, William. We appreciate having you on, bro. It's good to see you again. This is the first time we've had you on since I think Spider-Man.
Yep.
And that was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Yep.
Almost a year ago, right?
Yep. Good to be back on, man. Good to see you again, Cyber, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, William.
Good to see everybody.
Hear you, anyways.
Good to see Wrath. good to see your buddy that came on in the comment section, Jay Cyber. Thanks, Jay. Good to everybody. God bless everybody out there in our comment section. God bless everybody out there watching the live stream right now. All 93 of you. It's always nice to see a good audience for the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next Friday, hopefully with JRAD 2000 back. We'll have to see. All right, he'll be back. And we'll have the gentleman from the World Geek Podcast over for the episode as well. So we'll have a big panel. I'll be moderating, and we will see you next Friday. And we'll see you next Wednesday for Agatha, episode 1. So that'll be episode 1 and 2. Thank you, Cyber. I appreciate that. And we'll have a great cast for that one, too. We got Serin coming back. We got Wrath coming back, hopefully. I'm sure J-Red's going to make it for Agatha at some point. Well, William, I'll try to get you on, too, brother.
Okay.
We'll see everybody later. Peace. Good night.
Later.
Peace.